Morning, we are here with TaJTalk.com with Reverend Dr. Albert Reddick, who is running for mayor for the second time in Siler City, North Carolina. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, and thank you for having me this morning.
Well, we're happy to have you here, and we're going to go ahead and get right to it, if we may, all right?
Certainly.
So my first question is, who is Dr. Reverend Albert Reddick?
Albert Reddick is a resident of Chatham County and a member of the Chatham County Democratic Party, and I'm committed to transforming democratic values into public policy, protecting the safety and welfare of our neighbors, and enhancing the economic benefits for the residents of Chatham County. We're also committed to educational opportunities. We're in an era where that is a fundamental need. In addition to educational opportunities, we're in a community that is void of a community center. And in this polarized society that we're experiencing now, we have a belief that dialogue is the solution to the conflicts in the nation. And we need to have that arena. So we're committed to the development, number one, in Siler City of a community center, converting the Henry Siler School into a community center, in addition for all of the office spaces for all of the 501Cs in the county, and also an indoor soccer field. I think that's something that is needed. And in addition, that would help increase the business acumen downtown Siler City. Downtown Siler City is a ghost town, and we need to improve upon that in addition to the park.
And you may have touched upon what I'm about to ask next, and that is, why are you running for mayor?
I'm running for mayor because I believe we can make a difference, and there's a time for change. We need leadership. We need new leadership. And we need to be able to improve upon the housing condition in Siler City. It's just deplorable. And when we ride around in the communities and see the children going to school having to get out in the middle of the street in the rain because there are no sidewalks, we have a commitment, and we're troubled because things can be better, and the residents of Siler City deserve better. We're living in the center of prosperity in Cary, North Carolina, prosperity in Chapel Hill, prosperity in Raleigh and Pittsburgh. And we're here sitting waiting for the tumbleweed. We need change in Siler City. And I believe with a sincere and team effort in terms of collaborative relationships with the various municipal jurisdictions, that we can make a difference in Siler City.
As a reverend, as a doctor, we sat here and talked off camera. You're a dad, you're a grandpa.
Yes.
If you win with all those great skills, what can the people of Siler City expect from you?
Number one, they can expect that the government of Siler City will be returned to the people. One thing that destroyed me in terms of when we participate and go down to the county commissioners meeting, it's void of citizens. They're not allowed to participate and interact. And we need communities. According to President Woodrow Wilson, he said that the greatest gift of a nation is rich when its local communities and municipalities participate in the political process. And in that vein, we will open and return the Siler City government to the residents of Siler City, and we will have the kind of administration that will be inclusive, include our Hispanic community, include our African American community, all the diversity that is represented in the Chatham County Public Schools.
You mentioned commissioner meetings and town meetings. There was a meeting a few nights ago.
Yes.
Whose focus was early voting. Tell us about that meeting and how it went, please.
First of all, I was very troubled because at the opening of the meeting, they had the Boys Club members to participate in the Pledge of Allegiance. And then on the agenda was an issue which is related to fundamental right to voting, early voting in Siler City.
Of course.
Now, I believe that the county should be consistent. If there is voting in Pittsburgh, the same taxpayers and residents of Pittsburgh, if they have access to early voting, then the residents of Siler City and Golston should have the same access to early voting.
Agreed.
Number one, there are various impediments to people. Particularly, employment is an issue in Siler City and in Chatham County, but particularly Siler City because of the wages. We need livable wages. where individuals can maintain a home and have the possibility of building a home. We're living in a city where there is no new home building, period. In addition to that, I think that as we go forward in terms of adding and including this dynamics of economics, we will work intently with the community to have them involved because ideas come from individuals.
Agreed. When there is no early voting, or on the antithesis of that, who does early voting help, and who does not having early voting not help?
Well, first of all, early voting helps every citizen.
That's right.
Early voting is the same as voting on the day of election. It elects our governing bodies. Early voting is important, number one, particularly for low income individuals that are struggling with cost of gas, struggling with transportation, compounded with additional 35 miles to drive, when most of them are working jobs that require them to be limited to lunch hour for less than 30 minutes. Well, let's face it, it takes more than 30 minutes to vote. So we need early voting in order for them to give them an additional day, in order to make plans with their schedule and to be off the job. And I think it would improve the voting participation in this nation. And of course, statistics have proven that early voting among Hispanics and African Americans and low-income majority residents is higher when there is early voting.
I'm going to change topic a bit, but this has to do with profiling, has to do with relationships with law enforcement and the community. Gary Tyson in Siler City, Sheriff Mike Roberson here in Pittsburgh were nice enough to sit down with TaJTalk.com and talk about the Latino community being afraid to seek simple emergency services. And then as well as we sat down with Alana Dubester, and we've been developing conversation so that all people feel comfortable in reaching out to our law enforcement, to go to the hospital. But specifically, the Latino community, they're having fears of simple services because of ICE, because of being deported. What can you say to anyone who's being racially profiled, but also to our Latino community?
Well, first of all, I want to say that we are committed in terms of helping every resident of Siler City. We are committed to that venture. Now, in regard to the profiling, first I want to say that we have had extensive conversations with the police chief. There are some serious issues involving profiling, and that is tied to the inability to read. One thing has happened in North Carolina now, the DMV no longer distributes driver's education manuals. Everything is on the computer. So our Hispanic community have tremendous difficulty in the ability to read, which also makes it very difficult for them to pass the examination. However, they still have needs and emergency. And the profiling creates a tremendous negative impact on the community. And we are totally against that profiling. And particularly in Siler City, now one thing that I have noticed, that our police are friendly on the night out. And of course, that program, I would like to give contribution particularly to Chief Tyson for
Yes,
the
sir.
night out.
Yes, sir.
However, during the week, the friendliness is not there for the police department. We can drive by, they do not speak. So we need to transfer the night out to an every night out situation
yes, sir.
in
Indeed.
Siler City.
Indeed.
And I think that will help ease this fear that's haunting the Hispanic community, and of course to bring back the memories of African Americans, because still African Americans also being profiled.
Yes, sir.
That's a serious issue.
Yes, sir. So we do want to reach out to the current Mayor Grimes. We'd love for him to come on to TaJTalk.com, sit here with us and have a discussion. There's a debate coming up at some point with you and Mayor Grimes, correct?
Yes, correct. The League of Women, and that debate is scheduled for October the 3rd at the community college across from the hospital in Siler City. And we're looking forward to that.
So October 3rd at the community college in Siler City. Do you know what time?
At 6:30. I believe the time is at 6 It may be 5:30 in the afternoon. I think it's
Okay,
5:30.
we're going to find out and we're going to
Yes.
post that in hopes that we are also there providing media coverage for the debate, all right?
Thank you, sir.
What else would you like for the folks to know before we part ways today, sir?
I'd like the residents of Siler City and Chatham County to know that we are committed to the citizens of Siler City, and we are very personable. And one of the things that we really enjoy in our commitment to education is the substituting in the Chatham County School District. And one of the great needs is to enhance the reading level of our Hispanic students in the Chatham County School District. And we are committed to that, and we are working hard for that aspect.
Well, we certainly appreciate you coming to sit down with TaJTalk.com. Can we get some time with you here in the next few weeks and on up through the debate and through the election? We'd like to keep talking with you.
You certainly may, and we look forward to it, and thank you for the opportunity to participate.
We'd like to thank Reverend Dr. Albert Reddick, running for mayor in Siler City, here on TaJTalk.com, where we discuss, define, and deliver.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.